right, guys, welcome back to another video. We have lots to talk about today. We are going to start off here talking about Black Myth Wukong and some more confirmation that there was an exclusivity deal to keep this game off of Xbox at the launch of the game, plus many other things to go over. But before we do, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like, subscribe, share the video. Also check out my Spotify, link is in the description. So Black Myth Wukong, we've been talking about this for the last few weeks, especially after it did release on August 20th on PlayStation 5 and PC. And there was tons of discussion and speculation as to why this game did not release on Xbox. And of course, I would say lazy argument that everybody jumped to right away was that it was the fault of the Xbox Series S. And you looked at the release on the PlayStation 5 and there were tons of performance issues there, and you would start scratching your head and saying, well, why couldn't they have released this as well on Xbox? Or why was this even released on the PS5? Why wasn't it delayed for the PlayStation 5 alongside the Xbox version if they really cared about the highest quality of this game for release date? It was pretty obvious that there was something else going on here, especially if you go all the way back to the initial quote from the Microsoft spokesperson where they said they did not want to comment on deals from other platforms. And now we have an updated quote here from a Microsoft spokesperson that was given to Forbes that basically here confirms, I would say, that there was an exclusivity deal. And the reason this game did not launch on Xbox has nothing to do with the technical capabilities of the Xbox platform. Here is what they say. As we have said before, we're excited for the launch of Black Myth Wukong on the Xbox Series X and S, and are working with Game Science to bring the game to our platforms. We prefer not to comment on the deals made by our partners with other platform holders, but we can confirm that the delay is not due to Xbox platform limitations that have been raised to us. So there you have it. This is, I guess you get to choose who you want to believe. I'm going to believe the Microsoft spokesperson over Game Science on this one. They had initially said that they had pushed this game back due to internal quality concerns, which would make you think there was a huge issue here with the Xbox platform. They couldn't get the game on there. They couldn't get it running. They were having issues with the development kit, something along those lines. But it really seems like that is not the case. And at the end of the day, this is simply just an exclusivity deal that was struck by PlayStation. And surprisingly, they didn't even advertise it. So there is an interesting thing going on here. I don't know if it's because it's a Tencent back game and it is Game Science, and that plays into it as to what they can advertise, what they can't advertise. Who knows? But there's absolutely something here going on behind the scenes that is a deal. We've seen so many things come out, like that whole memory leak issue that was put out there as a reason why seemingly now is not the case based on these quotes here from the Microsoft spokesperson. There's also Digital Foundry and Eurogamer corroborating that Black Myth Wukong and Sony have an exclusivity deal. They say new journalists with good track records have corroborated the Sony exclusivity angle, and to be clear, we've heard the same ourselves from sources with good knowledge of the situation, and the fact that Microsoft itself heavily hinted at such a deal being in place as extra weight. All PR statements have some degree of legal vetting before they are put out there. And that's one of the things why I'm going to go and believe the Microsoft spokesperson here, because I doubt that they will go out there and just simply misinform, lie about what is going on here. But if they're saying that no technical issues have been brought to their attention, then that's kind of what it is. They go on here and say, that said, audience reaction has quite rightfully pointed out that there is a PlayStation deal in place. Sony is keeping awfully quiet about it. Well, the truth is that exclusivity deals can take many shapes and forms and don't necessarily need to include marketing. And as I mentioned in my previous video, basically I think what happened here was you had Game Science saying, we're not going to get this game out on console for August 20th. We are going to have to release it on PC and then delay the console versions to a later date. Then you probably had Sony coming in there and saying, hey, we'll give you a bunch of money and resources to do the best that you can, but you just have to release it on PlayStation 5 on the date that you release it on PC. And I'm thinking Sony really wanted to capitalize on the Chinese market here and get the Chinese gamers to go out and buy a PlayStation 5. When the game did launch, we did see there was a major uptick on PS5 sales in China. I think it was from like AliExpress or something like that, wherever they buy their PlayStation 5s. And Sony obviously needed to capitalize on that. And then you sit back and especially when you look at things like Concord, that's failed. They really need to have content on their platform. They don't have very much content right now. They don't have first party games, and they are struggling here. When you think their biggest release coming out this year on PlayStation, which is the biggest release every year, is Call of Duty, which is now an Xbox game. They're going to be paying a bunch of money to Xbox. So they probably really just wanted to capitalize here on Black Myth Wukong. And that's, I would say, what made it exclusive to be released on PlayStation 5. Maybe if it was up to Game Science, there will be no console version right now. We would have been waiting until 2025 for all of the console versions. So there you have it. I think at this point, unless some crazy new revelations come out, I would say this puts it kind of to rest that there was an exclusivity deal in regards to Black Myth Wukong and why it is not being released on the Xbox, or was not released on the Xbox on the same date as the PlayStation 5 and PC. Now, when it comes to the other game that has caused a huge uproar with Xbox, that is Enotria, The Last Song. We saw their post a couple of days ago basically saying they were having issues communicating with Xbox. They couldn't get it out to be certified. They said Xbox doesn't care about the game, doesn't care about customers, all of these types of things. I put a video out on that 2 days ago, and I said that's not the full story, because if you dig back into what happened with this game, back in March, they had explicitly come out and said they are suspending development for the Xbox version, mainly because they are partnered with Sega, or that Sega has some backing to this game, and most people in Asia have PlayStation, so they're choosing to optimize it first for the PlayStation 5, and they said they're going to start development for the Xbox version after the game has released on PlayStation and on PC. So I thought there was more to this story. I wasn't saying that there wasn't issues here with Xbox or ID at Xbox, and that I also said Xbox needs to get their shit together, because this is twice that we have seen this. However, now we have an update to this, and it seems like Phil Spencer and Xbox have responded, and they're going to get this game out. Enotria and the developers, they have said that the game is ready to go on the Series X and the Series S. So it should probably be pretty easy to get that page store open, get the game certified, and then get this game released. They put out this quote saying, "We would like to officially thank Phil Spencer and his team for reaching out to us so promptly and helping to resolve our situation. We would also like to thank our amazing community for all the support shown in recent days. Your voice has been heard very loud and clear, and your commitment has been heartwarming. We are now working closely with Microsoft, and we hope this collaboration will lead to the game's release for Xbox as soon as possible." So if you are looking to Enotria, The Last Song, it is going to be releasing on Xbox. I'm hoping at this point, since it's only September 4th, and if they've said that the game is ready to go, it can be released on September 19th alongside all of the other versions of the game itself. Now, when it comes to Hoyoverse and Genshin Impact, which is going to be a massive game on Xbox, we've already seen all the marketing they are doing for the game. There's some questions as to how you can access this game, what you need to access it, and all that cross play and cross progression stuff. And it looks like we have all of that laid out here, and it seems like it is good news. So it says here that revealed to us directly, so this is Windows Central, Hoyoverse says that Genshin Impact will yield in-game bundles day one for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers, as well as in subsequent version updates, like season styles of things, but it will not require Xbox Game Pass Core or Xbox Live Gold to play on the Xbox Series X and S, as it is a free-to-play title. And the game is not coming to Xbox One, but will be available via Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with Xbox Cloud Gaming. So if you're wondering if you needed to subscribe to play this game, you don't have to. You just have to have an Xbox, download it, log in to your account, and you're going to be able to play Genshin Impact without any subscription whatsoever. So that's a good thing. I wonder how big this game is going to be on Xbox, as it is a massive game overall. And now there's going to be a whole new community jumping in, or even people who are playing it on other platforms. They may have an Xbox and they could just continue their game and continue their progression on the platform itself. All right, let's talk about some major news here for Grand Theft Auto 6, and this would be massive for PlayStation with the PS5 Pro coming out, and it has to do with the marketing rights for GTA 6. The marketing rights for a game like GTA 6 is similar to the marketing rights for a game like Call of Duty. They're just so big. They're bigger than everything else out there. It is a big deal if your platform does get the marketing for it, because it will persuade people to go and play it on that platform. And it looks like Sony could be securing the GTA 6 marketing rights. So apparently this is what's going on. It says the deal will purportedly allow GTA 6 to be exclusively marketed alongside the PS5 and the upcoming PS5 Pro. And I feel like the PS5 Pro in and of itself is where Rockstar is looking and saying, hey, we want to put this game on the most powerful device out there because it is going to be demanding a lot. And since it's not releasing on PC right away, a PS5 Pro, having it marketed with that just makes a ton of sense. They say another source claiming Sony may emphasize the latter. So we'll see what they do, but I think PS5 Pro GTA 6 makes a ton of sense. And there's current speculation suggesting that the next trailer for GTA 6 will be at the 2024 Game Awards in December. Now, I wonder here how this is all going to go down, because PS5 Pro, apparently we're getting an announcement here in September. We've seen the rumor, I believe it was from Jeff Grubb, there's going to be a PlayStation showcase or a state of play, whatever you want to call difference between the showcases. And they're going to be announcing the PS5 Pro for a release before the end of the year. And if that is the way that it goes, having a GTA 6 trailer at the Game Awards makes a ton of sense, where they would throw that marketing on there at the same time, which I think Sony needs right now. They need that boost with a lot of things going on here that is negative in terms of the games releasing on the platform itself. So we will see. But at the end of the day, it's going to be available on the plot, on Xbox, on PlayStation, wherever you want to play it. It's just going to be marketing rights, where you'll see tons of GTA 6 trailers, and then it'll have the PlayStation logo at the end of it, more likely than not. All right, when it comes to PlayStation IPs and original IPs, Sony is saying here something that I think a lot of people have been saying for a while, that they don't have enough original IPs. And again, Concord just released, which was original IP. They shut it down. I think it was like 10 days or something. And they didn't even give it a chance to live. And besides that, you think about what is to be coming out from PlayStation by the end of this generation. It's the same stuff over and over again. You got the Spider-Man, you got the Last of Us, Horizon, and God of War. Now, PlayStation used to have just a great diverse lineup of video games. You throw in the Killzones, you throw in the Resistance, the Infamous, the SOCOMs. Like, there are so many great IPs that they haven't dug back into to release on these current generation of platforms. You would think that it would be a no-brainer to come up with something like that, make something brand new based off of those IPs that is different from what people are expecting, which are the remakes, remasters, Last of Us, all of that type of stuff. But here is what this says. This is CFO Hiroki Totoki talking to the Financial Times. And he says, whether it's games, films, or anime, we don't have that much IP that we have fostered from the beginning. We're lacking the early phase of IP, and that's an issue for us. He also adds that Sony as a whole has been better at finding new audiences for existing popular IPs, and thinks that the company won't grow without creating content from scratch with higher returns. And that makes a ton of sense. I mean, they have been very, very good of taking their IPs. Again, The Last of Us, we've seen all of the remakes of that game, and just continuously iterating on it and then getting people into the platform that way. But it is now, I would say, drying up. It is now an issue going forward, especially over these last 2 years, where the only major first party release we have seen has been Spider-Man 2. And I guess you could include Concord in there as well. But we know what happened with Concord. And now you have Astrobot coming out, which looks like a ton of fun. I think Astrobot is going to be great. But is it that game breaker that PlayStation needs? I am kind of doubtful on that. So hopefully this has looking internally, looking at some of their other games, looking at some of the games that haven't been out in a very long time, in a couple of generations here, and they start bringing those games back, which I think will foster some more excitement for their first party stuff. And this also goes back to why you see these acquisitions and why you see trying to build that massive catalog of being able to continuously deliver games on a consistent basis, which is Xbox is trying to do. I think Sony was doing that. They've fallen off a bit, but eventually will get back to being able to do that. All right, let's talk here about some Switch 2, because it looks like the Switch 2 could be happening this month. This comes via Christopher Dring, GameIndustry.biz. He says, with industry whispers around something Switch 2 related happening this month, I thought I'd remind everyone of the official list of the greatest game consoles of all time. He just says Nintendo Switch and then everyone else under that. So Switch 2, the rumors for this console have shifted a ton as to the release date. It was supposed to be out this year. Now I believe it is coming in 2025. I wonder if they're going to announce it before the end of the year or very early next year. But this is going to be a major player going forward because of how popular the Nintendo Switch is. Honestly, as of right now, Nintendo is probably sitting there thinking that they want to be the best-selling console ever with the Nintendo Switch. They're trying to beat the PS2. They may not want to take too much attention away from the current Switch, especially with the new Zelda coming out, which looks awesome. The new Zelda console coming out, and they still have tons of games releasing on the Switch, and they will for years after the Switch 2 comes out. But I think at the end of the day, they're really trying to hit that goal of beating the PlayStation 2. Now, if you're looking for Destiny Mobile, this could be something in the works. And again, makes a ton of sense from the PlayStation side of things that they need to expand out their audience beyond the console. But it says here that Destiny Mobile game could get announced soon. It's claimed, and specifically here, you have Jeff Grubb saying, yeah, this is real. Not a lot of people from Bungie working on it. It could get announced soon, and it's a new Destiny Mobile game, Destiny Rising, and it is in development by Bungie and NetEase. So they're working together. Of course, branching out to the mobile sphere is something that they need to do, that they want to do, that they have the PlayStation Mobile section that they've opened up. They're putting games on PC, so this would just make a ton of sense. I wonder how this game would look, how it would run. Is it going to be similar to something like Call of Duty Mobile in its feel? And if that's the case, we've seen how successful that is. This to me for PlayStation would be something that would be smart to do. Not that I would be interested in mobile gaming very much, but they definitely need to find that cash in other places. So I would not be surprised if this one does happen. And finally, a couple of things here. We have Until Dawn's remake studio announced significant layoffs. We know that they remade this game, which I didn't really think it needed a remake, but they re-released it on the PS5 and the PC. Say here in a statement, UK-based Ballistic Moon said it was making staff cuts to secure the future, which is like what they all say. It's always about securing the future. They say the studio was founded in 2020, and they are developers behind PS4's Until Dawn. And they're saying that as the games industry continues to face complex challenges, we at Ballistic Moon are confronted with some difficult realities. It is with deep regret and heavy heart that we must make the tough decision to significantly scale down our team to secure the future of the studio. This comes after our development of Until Dawn for PS5 and PC. Now, this is going to be released on October 4th. I wonder if they are projecting that it is just not going to do very well. It's not going to have that many sales. A game that really does not need a remake. Another one of these games that, again, just trying to cash in on that same IP over and over and over again with the base crowd that likes it, and it's probably trying to expand it out a bit, but I just don't know if it will do very well, and they're probably projecting that, which is why they're going ahead and making these cuts at this point. Unfortunate, but at the same time, it is what's been happening throughout the entire industry all year, and the number at the end of this year is going to be crazy with the amount of people that have been laid off. And then finally, two more things. Ubisoft share prices have fallen to a near 10-year low since the release of Star Wars Outlaws. So obviously the release isn't going as good as they thought it would, which who knows why. There's a lot of pushback against this game about it being woke or whatever. And I would have to say that I've played about 25, 30 hours of it. I don't really understand that, but the other thing is probably because people are just spending less on video games, and there's probably so much here in terms of what they have to spend to develop this game with the Star Wars IP and all of that. It's going to be, they're going to have to sell crazy amounts to be able to make their money. I will say Star Wars Outlaws is a good game. If you are interested, there are some technical issues that are being worked out. Once those get fully worked out, I would recommend it. It is really great if you enjoy exploring a Star Wars universe. Massive has built an extremely beautiful game here in Star Wars Outlaws. And if you like stealth, and which the whole game is stealth, but if you do like stealth, you'll enjoy it. There's some good gunplay and everything in there. But overall, the more you explore in Star Wars Outlaws, the better this game does get. So they're saying it's because of Star Wars Outlaws and also potentially X-Defiant here that has seen a sharp decline in interest, which will continue to see a decline in interest. I think after Black Ops 6 does come out, I thought X-Defiant could have been a competitor, but it does not seem like it really will end up being like that unless they make some major changes. And then finally, you also have Nvidia here, which has seen some major falls in their stock. Now Apple and Microsoft are going to be battling for the number one in market cap, as Nvidia is suffering the biggest single day drop in history. And the reason, they are saying, it's being fueled by artificial intelligence hype train, saying given that Nvidia's GPUs are often used to train and deliver AI models and services associated with them, and there's concerns that the AI stock frenzy might be without real substance coupled with signs of slowing growth for major global economies, it's hit Nvidia stocks. So we'll see how this fares and what this means for Nvidia going forward. It fluctuates. Things go up and down. I think they'll be back, of course. And AI is definitely a question mark. You have a lot of people questioning whether this will be something big specifically in the gaming industry or not, and how many jobs will this take. All that stuff is a lot of discussion for the future of gaming that is interesting to think about. But I'll end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.